Greetings and welcome, and thank you for tuning in. Most of these ideas of this video are simply works of my own inner thoughts in regards to a more minute part of Destiny 2's inventory and something with which may make things a little more interesting for the Guardians at large in the community. My proposition, however, is one I hope to stir some talk and maybe even eventually have it reach Bungie themselves to consider this as an inclusion, but that is my hope. I'll settle for a simple discussion. With the launch of Destiny 2, we've seen all sorts of inventory shifts and changes with how Guardians go about their way through the galaxy, hopping from planet to planet and leaving destruction in their wake. However, a lesser known and even lesser seen object that we have access to is something which shows the capability and raw potential of a Guardian. And I'm not talking about the sharpest of sword nor the loudest of hand cannon, but something even more rare. Auras. Some of you may already be familiar with the concept, but those of you that are not, I'll explain in brief detail. An aura, by textbook definition, is a distinct atmosphere surrounding a given source or an energy field that is held to emanate from a living being. And the concept in which I will be discussing is that of the latter definition. Those of you already know that of which I speak are the aura granted to you from two of the hardest instances currently available to Guardians at this point in time: completion of the Prestige Nightfall or earning a flawless ticket from Trials of the Nine. And if it is as likely as I think it might be, we may see another from the Prestige Leviathan raid as well. Though in my personal opinion, from having looked at these both, they're fairly underwhelming. In the few instances we've heard talk over an aura emanating from Guardians, they were grand. To quote the exotic ship Rose and Bone, and by lesser known extent the tale of Rezil Azir, in his strong hand the man held a rose, and his aura burned bright. Such was the legend. It's no secret that Guardians are beings of immense power. Power is to the end in which defines how, well, powerful they are. But for all this, the aura we are given are not very empowering. The only thing which could remotely compare to something even remotely close is the aura which surrounds a Guardian at the current apex of their power, their super. But even this only lasts for a few brief seconds. If you avoid Warlock or Hunter, it's even briefer. That being said, I've thought of a possible idea which may just be worth it to the Guardians seeking to chase something new, something to truly cement themselves among the legends: an elemental aura mastery. Imagine, if you will, a Guardian whom has mastered their desired element, a Titan whom continuously burns with the embers of a solar flare, a Hunter whom is elusive and tenebrous as the void, or in my personal choice, a Warlock that crackles and sparks with the might of blaring arc. These Guardians could, and maybe would, at the peak of their power, be bathed in their element until the moment in which they choose to unleash that power, giving that Guardian a true sense of might, a true show of power that we have so easily shown time and again. In exact practice and clear-cut wording, this is my suggestion: an item for your aura slot which, when equipped, along with the specific elemental subclass to match it, when your super is charged, your Guardian would emanate an aura of that specific element. To demonstrate, I made a small mock-up of what I imagine this would look like. That's the mock-up. Don't judge. Ultimately, this would serve no purpose aside from simply being used as a way to show off a little more. There's nothing wrong with a little boast, right? Though it would not be simply easy to earn. As stated by the aura item slot itself, they are to be rewarded as a result of completion of a challenging activity. Or how about a chain of difficult activities? As it stands, difficulty is a big topic among the community at this point. Some people believe some events are too harsh, too unforgiving, and some believe they are currently right where they need to be. I would happen to fall under the latter of the categories, at least on terms of difficulty. Power equates to strength, and strength equates to a willingness to overcome your challenges. It seems fitting enough that your strength and ability to overcome said challenges should leave you feeling more powerful than those who could not. It stands to reason, then, that those who can should be able to carry a brighter, more noticeable aura. There is one instance in which we had something to this degree. I had remembered this as I conjured up the concept that we were given a special artifact with the release of Rise of Iron, one whose power was indispensable through many a raid and trial, the memory of Skorri. When I had actually gone and attempted to get footage of this a few days prior, I had actually noticed that its effect had been changed. As such, I was unable to get proper footage for my own use. That being said, taking a look back at the original memory of Skorri gave us a unique effect, that in which when your super had been charged, you would help charge the supers of those around you. That, however, is not the point I am trying to make. As a visual indicator that the memory had taken effect, your guardian would be bestowed upon with a golden, flickering glow, a bright and gentle aura, one befitting a guardian who carries that memory as an asset to a fire team. My idea, however, simply focuses on the individual, though in this current state it's not as important as the well-structured capability of a full fire team, but all the same. The ideal way I imagine this being implemented is as follows. Through a quest by way of any one of the vendors, or possibly even a new vendor, only unlockable after having reached a fairly high power level, say 290 at the current moment for example. You could go on a quest which would test your ability with that of your chosen subclass, whilst also carrying out challenges befitting the strongest guardian of the bunch. Complete Prestige Nightfall, finish a raid, earn 7 wins and a trial ticket, to be both generous but firm as an example. Upon completion of said quest, you would earn an item that is a testament to your power and ability with your subclass, which again would give you that elemental effect as long as your super remained charged. Once again, I'd like to point out that these would strictly be that of a cosmetic nature. No bonuses to stats or power or anything of the sort, unless you count looking like a total badass as a stat boost. Of course, those of a more humble nature, or those who just wouldn't care, could easily swap it right off and return to the normal state. Easy peasy. We know lore-wise that there are some guardians who have dabbled in the energy of the enemies of the city. The most often talked about are Toland with that of the Hive, and Osiris with the Vex. Even with many a guardian adorning themselves in arms and armor based off of these, Hive, Taken, Vex, and even subsequently Siva-infected armor. Why stop there? Why not bathe in the energies of the vanquished, to take them well enough as your own, if only for the sake of cosmetic, of course. We already have transmat effects based on most of these factions. These would follow under the same concept as the regular elements as I've outlined already, but Siva being Arc, Hive being Solar, and Taken energies being Void. At least that's how I theorize it, but that's a little different. Personally, I haven't gotten enough of Siva and was a little disappointed in not seeing any trace of it in Destiny 2 as far as I know, though that very well might be an unpopular opinion. If you've reached to this point in the video, I'd like to thank you for staying to listen, as this was the first major effort I really put into making something of the sort, all based off of the bored rambling thoughts I have day in and day out. And while yes, there are a lot more pressing issues the Destiny community are getting into, and a lot more pressing matters that Bungie has to take care of, it would be nice to see this little extra touch to personally show off your Guardian. As I've stated at the beginning, this is simply placed up for discussion into the matter. Let me know what you think. Share your thoughts, and if this seems like a worthy idea to push, make some waves, and maybe we can get some input on the subject. Thank you for your time.